The Singularity promoters, such as Dr. Ray Kurzweil, Dr. Mikio Kaku, and others, say that the Singularity will be completely in place by 2045. This is a date they have been very consistent with. However, is that date the true date? In the Wes Penre papers, WPP, and my Singularity book, I wrote a lot about smart cities being the future of mankind and imperative for the Singularity. The plan is to build cities all over the world that will house the entire world population, or what will be left of it. These cities are built on nanotechnology. Everything will be AI and receptive to humans' mind response. We all have nanobots in our bloodstream. Virtually no human being is free from them. They are spread through chemtrails and GMO food, and they are included in vaccines, flu shots, and the pills doctors subscribe to us. We can't really avoid them. However, they are not activated yet, except perhaps to a small extent. The activation most probably will happen when 5G is released. What does this entail? What will be the consequences for humankind? And what will be the consequences for us in the spiritual field, who don't want to have anything to do with this? Humankind will probably not notice much to begin with. After all, these bots are meant to become substitutes for our biological makeup, and we are not supposed to feel anything different, at least not anything negative. Therefore, to begin with, life will probably go on as usual. The big difference will be noticed when people start moving into these smart cities. They are, as mentioned, completely embedded with nanotechnology, which means that it won't work without the nanobots inside the human body. It's a collaboration between the cities and the human nanomind. All the equipment in people's homes will be completely dependent on our human interaction with things around us. The oven turns on when you give it a thought or command to be turned on, and the lights will turn off and on with your thoughts. That's the goal. There will be no handles to open the oven. It's all done with your mental participation. Therefore, a person who refuses to be part of this can't live in such a city the old way. In addition, the gap between those who accept the nanotechnological way of living will be so great that we, who don't participate, can't interact with the cyborgic new human. The new society will not function without nanotechnology and nanobots. Also, with the new human mind being a hive mind stored in a supercomputer, a cloud, the intelligence these people possess will be way higher than yours and mine, but only in a robotic, artificial way. We who don't want to participate will be forced to live outside these cities, without support from anybody. However, we don't need to worry about this for the moment, right? After all, this is going to happen many years into the future. In fact, 26 to 27 years into the future. Wrong. It's likely about to happen soon. Smart cities are already built and are ready to go. China has fully functional smart cities that are in place at this very moment. They have many of them. They don't call them smart cities, but seriously, what else could they be? They look very futuristic and sophisticated, but they still look like regular cities. However, in order to place as many people as possible in relatively small cities, they are not building houses, but skyscrapers, so they can bunch people together, as many people as possible in each city. These cities, which must have cost a fortune to build, are just sitting there, vacant. There are no people living there. Everything is put in place, even the traffic lights are working, and the electricity is turned on, but no humans. China is not the only country that has built these new cities. Oman is another one, with support from Iran. And there are other places in Africa where they have done the same thing. I'm sure there are other places in the world where these cities are finished or are about to be finished as well. But the above 3 places have been promoted in mainstream media recently. The one in Oman is even called a nano-city. We understand that the world is full of smart cities in the nearby future, and the above countries are just the pioneers, but we doubt that the elite is going to let these fully functional cities just sit there until 2045. Dr. Kurzweil said the singularity is near, but we believe it's much nearer than 2045. Don't be surprised if they start moving people into these cities in just a few years, and from there things will progress rapidly. First we'll have 5G activating the nanobots, and iPhone 12 seems to be a crucial part of this as well, according to an insider mentioned in a Steve Quayle interview with an Israeli friend. We highly suspect that Kurzweil and others have set the date 2045 as a part of a clever agenda. The singularity was never meant to be in place in 2045, but by putting that year out there, they created a distraction that would stop people from looking at what is happening now. We are already in the middle of the singularity agenda, but most people don't recognize it because it's creeping up on us. The part of humankind that is pro-technology and welcome physical immortality, and thus the singularity, are now very enthusiastic and look forward to 2045, hoping they are alive then. Others, such as you and me, who want to have nothing to do with it, think we have time because it's not going to happen until 2045. Therefore, we relax and bide our time, when in fact the singularity is just around the corner. We understand that people are fearful right now, particularly the younger generation, who will still be here when all this kicks in. The older generation might be as well if the singularity is very near, so the fear might affect us all. So what will happen with us when the singularity really kicks in? Are we going to be stuck here with our nanobots and all the rest of it? Our answer to that is no. We first need to be manipulated into participating in the singularity. This is why they use punchlines such as immortality, no more sickness, transplants of damaged body parts, superintelligence, etc. This is attractive to people, and thus they can gather these people together and create this cloud for the part of human consciousness that agrees to such a solution. Then they can create a new grid, cloud, for those people. We who don't participate will not be trapped in the cloud as we see it. It needs to be done by mass agreement. Although we do have nanobots in our bodies, something we can't do anything about, it does not prevent us from leaving our bodies when we die, unless we trap ourselves in the supercomputer, which is cloud-based. This cloud is a frequency band which vibrates lower than we do, who are more awake. We humans have a lot of fear inside that we have accumulated during our lifetime, but also inherited from our ancestral lines, mother and father. This fear accumulates in the artificial soul, see video 86, the inner grid, rather than just being a fearful moment that then passes like it used to do before they gave us their mind/artificial soul. Our natural state is to feel fear when appropriate, but when the danger is gone, the fear disappears as well, and only stays as a memory and a reminder in case a similar situation shows up later. It doesn't accumulate and create anxiety. Accumulation and anxiety belong to the artificial soul. When we think about exiting the grid and facing the unknown on the other side, we might feel quite a bit of anxiety. What we need to consider is that we are still operating from our artificial soul level to a large degree, even when we have all this knowledge we have. We have all been abused and experienced trauma in our lives that affects us daily. However, when we've exited the grid, we have also shed the artificial soul. Although it might be difficult to grasp in our current human state, we will then become our true selves again. We will not be amnesiac, and we will not carry with us all our fears other than as experiences. Consider this. Think of a time when you felt on top of the world and unstoppable and full of joy and happiness. Life was good and you felt incredibly inspired and curious about things. If you can recall such an event, that's when you were yourself, the pure soul. At that moment, you vibrated above the frequency of the artificial soul. No fear, no anxiety, just joy. This is what you will feel when you're out of the matrix. Souls are curious by nature. You will feel a great relief and happiness, and perhaps most of all, curiosity. Yay, I'm out. I want to explore. That's you, the real soul. So don't worry too much about what's coming next. In fact, when you're out of the grid, you are finally back in your natural environment, the environment you were in as Namlu'us. You will recognize it. So, as a message to the young people who listen to this, and even those who are older and might experience the singularity, try not to fear it. Even if you die after the singularity agenda is put in place, you can still leave. It might even be easier than it is now. Because humankind will then become a hive mind within a cloud, computer simulation. The grid will most probably not even be necessary anymore. The AIF is not going to worry about it. The Between Lives area, BLA, will probably be obsolete as well. It's not needed anymore. Moreover, they don't want renegades, non-participants like us, to run around in the rural areas, potentially disrupting their newly built hive society. They will almost certainly be happy if we leave. Also, us leaving will also be considered a payback to Orion, because the overlords once promised to send graduating souls back, which they didn't. Not doing so will be held against them in the future. Now they think they can pay back some of the debt by letting the souls who don't want to participate leave. We look forward to any comments and insights on these subjects in the comment section below. We will also leave references to the Smart City information in the description box.